T-minus 30 seconds and counting. T-minus 15 seconds and counting. T-minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ignition. Liftoff.
Pitching downrange.
M1D chamber pressure is nominal.
Falcon 9 has successfully lifted off from Pad 39A at Kennedy Space Center, carrying our OneWeb-1 payload. Now, during ascent, we will tilt the engines, technically called gimbaling, and that'll turn the rocket horizontally slightly in what we call a gravity turn.
Nominal power and telemetry.
So we're still going up, but we're also going horizontally away from the launch pad. You can see a beautiful sunset view of that ascent of Falcon 9.
Vehicle supersonic.
Now in just a couple minutes, we will be throttling the engines down in preparation for max Q, or the maximum aerodynamic pressure.
Max Q.
We just passed through that moment. Now the first stage, or any rocket, typically needs to go about 17,500 miles per hour horizontally in order to avoid being pulled back down to Earth and actually make it into orbit. So you can keep an eye on that stage 1 telemetry on that bottom left-hand side of your screen. Looks like we're going about 2,500 miles per hour right now and increasing rapidly. In a little under a minute here, we will have 5 events coming up in quick succession. So it'll start with main engine cutoff of the first stage, followed by stage separation, a stage 1 flip as it prepares to do the boost back burn, second engine startup 1, where the second stage MVAC engine will ignite, and then the start of that first stage boost back burn. Beautiful views from that camera tracking the Falcon 9. Now we're coming up for main engine cutoff in just a few seconds, and watch out for those 5 events.
Nico.
Stage separation confirmed.
MVAC ignition.
Boost back startup.
Wow, what an incredible view. There you heard and you see in these incredible views from Falcon 9 first and second stages, that main engine cutoff, stage separation, the first stage flip, second engine startup, and that boost back burn where the plumes from that first and second stage were creating that beautiful light show in the sky. Now that first stage boost back burn is in progress, but it'll end here in just under 10 seconds.
Stage 1 boost back shutdown.
That was the end of the stage 1 boost back burn. And here coming up shortly, we should have fairing deployment from our second stage.
Fairing separation confirmed.
There's fairing separation. You can see that attitude control
Both vehicles are following
system.
nominal trajectories.
The attitude control system on that first stage, creating those beautiful plumes in the sky on those views from your left. Now we did have confirmation of a good fairing separation for both
Stage 2 following nominal trajectory.
to slow that first stage down as it re-enters the thicker parts of the Earth's atmosphere. Hopefully we'll get some really beautiful views from the first stage there on the left.
Stage 1 entry burn startup.
There is the start of our first stage entry burn, as you can see. And you can see that first stage flying through that entry burn plume, which deposits that soot on the first stage.
Stage 1 entry burn shutdown.
Did to get that call out for a good entry
Stage 1
burn.
FTS is saved.
Stage 2 continues to be on a nominal trajectory. We are getting some spotty camera connectivity, but everything is looking good from Stage 2 telemetry. You can see the first stage is coming down back towards landing zone 1, and we will start our landing burn of that first stage in just about 10 seconds here. You can see the Cape Canaveral coast on your screen
Stage
on the
2
right.
FTS
Stage
is
1
saved.
entry transonic.
There is that start of our first stage landing burn.
Stage 1 landing burn.
Really incredible views from the first stage.
Stage 1 landing leg deploy. Stage 1 landing confirmed.
As you can see from that beautiful video from
Stage 2 is a terminal guidance.
the first stage, we did have a successful landing of the first stage booster back on landing zone 1, and this landing marks the 145th recovery of a Falcon 9 first stage. Now, in just a few seconds here, we will have second engine cut off one of the second stage. We are getting a little bit of some spotty video connections, but you did see the second stage briefly there in the midst of that first burn. We should have SECO 1 here shortly.
MVAC shutdown.
There is that second engine cutoff, or MVAC shutdown 1. And we are just waiting for confirmation of a good orbital insertion from the second stage. Welcome back to the webcast of the Falcon 9 mission carrying the OneWeb 1 satellites for our customer OneWeb. We've had a nominal mission so far with Falcon 9 launching on time at 5:27 p.m. Eastern Time from Launch Complex 39A at Kennedy Space Center. We successfully recovered the first stage back on landing zone 1 with a gorgeous slideshow from the first stage, marking the 4th landing for this booster, and the second stage completed its first burn, taking the OneWeb satellites into space. We are just about 14 seconds away from a second ignition of the MVAC engine, which will be a really short 3-second burn and will carry the second stage of the OneWeb payload to the orbital, the orbit needed to deploy
startup.
the satellites.
And shutdown.
You heard that call out for that very brief MVAC startup and shutdown. It was only a 3-second burn of that MVAC engine. And we will wait on a confirmation of a
Nominal
good
orbit insertion.
Yeah, we just got confirmation of a nominal orbital insertion as a OneWeb 1, 2 burns of our second stage engine. We just wrapped up a very short 3-second burn of the second stage. And we are coming up shortly on the payload deployment of 14 OneWeb satellites here in just under 30 seconds.
Acquisition of signal, Bangalore.
We got a quick view from those OneWeb satellites from the second stage, really briefly there. Just waiting on confirmation of that first set of deployments.
OneWeb, Sat A1 and A5, separation confirmed.
Payload adapter slots are empty.
OneWeb, Sat D3 and D7, separation confirmed.
You can see one of those OneWeb satellites floating off there from the second stage. And that was confirmation of 2 additional satellites being successfully deployed here in the second set of deployments. And we are just waiting for 2 more in this set of 13 satellites. Again, this is
OneWeb, Sat C2 and C6, separation confirmed.
there. You can see very cool views of that satellite popping off from the second stage. Again, that was our last 2 satellites of this set of 13 satellites in this second set of deployments. So now we've had good confirmation of those. We're going to take another short coast phase before the 3rd and final deployment for today.
OneWeb, Sat E3 and E7, separation confirmed. OneWeb, Sat B3, separation confirmed. OneWeb, Sat D2 and D6, separation confirmed. OneWeb, Sat E2 and E6, separation confirmed. OneWeb, Sat OneWeb, Sat E1 and E5, separation confirmed. 40 OneWeb spacecraft satellite separations confirmed.
Hello again. We are here nearing the end of our mission today for our customer OneWeb. As you may have been following along with the live views from the second stage, we have deployed all 40 of the satellites from the second stage today. And you may have been following along with those views, but those bright spots that you may have seen in the background were the other OneWeb satellites that have just been deployed. So with the successful deployment of those 40 OneWeb satellites, that brings to end your continued support. Hope you all enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you again soon.
Ignition.
2, 1. Liftoff of the Falcon 9.
One, 0, plus 1, 7, 0.